Good morning to everyone at today's public hearing of the Vetting Commission established under Law Number 65 of the year 2023. That law concerns the external evaluation of judges and candidates for judges of the Supreme Court of Justice. I'm Scott Bales, the chair of the commission, and I declare this session open. The hearing is being conducted under Law Number 65 and under the Commission's Rules of Organization and Functioning as part of the subject's evaluation process. The subject of today's hearing is Alexandru Negru, a candidate for the position of judge at the Supreme Court of Justice. Judge Negru is a judge at the Court of First Instance in Chișinău. Since the 1st of April of this year, he has been temporarily transferred to the Supreme Court. Judge Negru, welcome.
Bună ziua.
Good morning.
I'm joined by 5 other commission members. To my right are Vice Chair Andre Bevel and commission members William Brouwer and Lilian Ansu. To my left are commission members Lavle Perling and Yuri Gatskin. The commission is also assisted by members of its secretariat, and you may see in the room members of the public or the media. The photographer will take pictures just briefly at the start of the hearing. The hearing is being conducted with translation between Romanian and English. To allow accurate interpretation, I ask everyone to speak clearly and slowly, and only one person should speak at a time. Proceedings are being recorded. The recordings of the Commission's public hearings generally will be available online at the Commission's website, www.vettingmd.eu. I should say that again, www.vettingmd.eu, within 3 days after the hearing. I will start by briefly reviewing the evaluation process for Judge Negru. The Commission initiated its evaluation on November 7th last year by notifying the judge by email and asking him to complete and return an ethics questionnaire and the financial declarations required by Law Number 65. Judge Negru returned the completed declarations and questionnaire on the 18th of April last year. As part of evaluating a subject's ethical and financial integrity, the Commission also obtains information from many other sources, such as the National Integrity Authority, the State Fiscal Service, the General Inspectorate of the Border Police, other public institutions, financial institutions, and open sources. The Commission assesses the information it obtains for relevance and reliability. Over the months, February through April of this year, the Commission asked Judge Negru 2 rounds of questions to clarify certain matters. He provided additional answers and information during that period. On the 30th of May of this year, we notified Judge Negru that the Commission had finalized its investigation and had not identified any areas of doubt about his compliance with the ethical and financial criteria. We also invited him to attend today's hearing. According to Article 24, Paragraph 3 of the Commission's evaluation rules, if the Commission, based on the information it has collected and reviewed, does not have doubts about the subject's compliance with the integrity criteria, it shall send the subject a written notice and set a hearing at least 10 days after the notice, where it will ask the subject to confirm the accuracy of the information provided and announce that, absent its receipt of new information, the Commission will adopt an evaluation report containing a proposal for promotion. Judge Negru, do you wish to correct or make any additions to the answers you've provided the Commission's request for information?
No, there is no corrections or no additions to make further.
Are the answers that you provided to the Commission and the other information that you provided in the 5-year declaration and ethics questionnaire that you submitted last November still accurate as of today?
Yes, they are still accurate.
And finally, Judge, is there anything you'd like to say before we conclude the hearing? Do you wish to make any kind of statement?
Yes, if I may. I will try to be as open as I can towards the members of the Commission and the society to make sure that I am understood as regards the step that I've made. Overall, this entire procedure of vetting that I am going through right now, well, I've felt it as quite demanding an exercise, and to be honest, not quite pleasant here and there. I would like now to, though, express my gratitude to all of those who've had enough patience, who had the goodwill to share with me information and materials that normally that information wouldn't have had to concern me. But was information that I had to obtain and then to share it, to pass it on to the Commission. I would like to thank those who spend their own time, and maybe to the detriment of their own time and to the detriment of their health. Regardless of that, they were nevertheless full of patience, and they have explained to me in certain circumstances matter that particularly were of interest to me, to the areas of concern. I also would like to express my gratitude to the members of my family, my wife, my children, my mother, who is of an advanced age. Essentially, they are the ones who kept encouraging me to go through with this exercise. And I know that I owe them time, and sometimes I owe them attention. And I also know that they've accepted and they continue to accept and to understand that my position of public dignity, of high-ranking official, requires dedication, effort, time, and that can have an impact that is not necessarily positive when it comes to the time and attention that I have available to give to them. I have a message also to the Commission, and perhaps it is in general one that reflects my attitude, my opinion regarding the vetting procedure. Having looked at the content of the questions that were addressed to me, I understand that the analysis that you carried out was very thorough, and I understand that that's how the members and the Secretariat looked at it. As a professional, I can only have a very high regard for such a multifaceted and clear, detail-focused approach. I hope that in the cases that I will ever handle, I hope that I will be able to perform such an analysis and to be provided such support. Now, with regards to the vetting procedure, I know many judges, many colleagues of mine who I believe to be professionals and who did not want to undergo this experience, and they decided to resign and to leave the system. I also know about the low level of trust in the justice system, and I am aware of things not having all gone the right way, and that was one of the factors that prompted the need to have the vetting and the pre-vetting procedures. I also know many colleagues, and with them I do, until not long ago, I had some reluctance, some reservations about raising amid people that I didn't know that well. I know there were some issues with telling people that I worked as a judge, and I had those reservations of telling others who I worked as, perhaps because of an inner understanding that those doubts that exist out there, that they had a reason to exist, those doubts. It is my hope and my belief that all the sacrifices, that all of the efforts made by those who've gone through this process who are to undergo this experience, and I hope that the sacrifices and the effort invested, or even the fact that someone had to give up, those who did not want to go through this process, they had to give up their position, and I hope that all of this will ultimately, at the end of the day, support making things better and getting rid of the bad things out there. I hope that most of the judges of my colleagues will, at the end of the day, get rid of that hesitancy of saying who we are, and hopefully the justice system will regain the trust of the society. Without the trust of our people, these judicial procedures, the documents, the documentation that we release, that we issue in our capacity, all of these would be strongly affected. And I also believe that a professional who has good intentions, that believes that the general interest is more important than the particular individual interests, cannot have a different approach to these processes at this stage. And I equally understand the responsibility, the expectations of the society. Now, thinking of those now who are the beneficiaries of our work, so to speak, those that we work for, understand their expectations from people who go through this process. The expectations are very big, and they will have to prove that justice exists, that it's there for the people, and that this is done in observance of the principle of legality. I count on all stakeholders, the public at large, the mass media, the people in politics, and the government. I hope that everybody understands what we have to tackle from now on as well. Otherwise, I don't see why we have been doing everything we've been doing so far. So it's like a new page, a new beginning for all of us. And then it's up to you to make the final decision regarding your solution. Thank you.
Judge Negru, thank you for your comments. That brings us to the end of today's hearing. Judge, thank you also for your prior responses to the Commission's request. As you've noted, the process is rigorous and it takes time, and it depends a lot on the cooperation of the subjects. After today's hearing, the Commission will approve an evaluation report stating its conclusion whether the subject meets the criteria for ethical and financial integrity under Law Number 65. The Commission will strive to complete its evaluation report and announce its conclusion as soon as possible. It generally seeks to do so within a month after a subject's public hearing. Today's hearing is now closed. Good day to everyone.